stage of the candidates in the Republican primary for Commissioner Precinct 4, Jimmy Parker and Leroy Morgan.
I am Jimmy Parker, running for Titus County Commissioner Precinct 4. The major decisions in my life have been grounded in faith, love for my family, and a commitment to my community. This decision is no different. It's something that I've been considering for several years. I was born and raised in Morris County, moved to Titus County in 1974 when me and my wife married. We began our American dream here with little more than a shirt on our back and love in our heart. We now have a wonderful life here and a beautiful family. We have 2 sons. Our oldest boy, Jared, he's a web programmer for University of North Texas Health Science Center, and his wife, Brandy, they live in Mansfield, and they give us our first grandson this year in April. Jonah, my youngest son, lives in Austin. He is a project manager for Frito-Lay, and he and his wife, Catherine, give us our second grandson in December. Here's a few reasons that I feel like that I am qualified for this job. Barbara and I attend Calvary Baptist Church, where I'm a deacon, and I serve as chairman of the finance committee there at the church. I also am chairman of the security for the Titus County Fire Association. Have been with them for several years now. I served on the Chaple Hill School board for 13 years. 8 of those years was as president, and during that time we managed to keep the budget balanced and maximize our state funding. And because of this, you're able to see the efforts now that brought forth the high school at Chaple Hill. This community is part of my family and has been for some time. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, one generation plants the trees, the other gets the shade. That's the reason that I'm here speaking to you today, asking you for your vote for Titus County Commissioner.
Now, I'm a lay minister. This is the biggest crowd I've ever got to preach to. I appreciate each of you coming out. I thank Bobby for putting this thing together. And my name is Leroy Morgan, and I'm running as a Republican. I've been a Republican since I was old enough to vote. I was born and raised in a little community in Arkansas, about 20 miles north of New Boston. I promised God if he'd let me out of that cotton patch that I would not be a farmer anymore. When I graduated from high school, I moved to Colorado, and I went to work for a company that did work in the timber industry and the mining industry. And, we built roads for the U.S. Forest Service and for the mines and for the timber industry. So I have a background of working with machinery and with road work. I met my wife in Colorado and we got married. We've been married 50 years. In September of this year, this past year, we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. So I take commitment very seriously. If you live 50 years with a woman, you can understand that. I was working for a man in Colorado, and he bought a sawmill in Titus County. It was over on White Oak Creek. Some of y'all may remember it was called the Electric Mill. I think that was the first electric sawmill anybody ever seen in this country. Anyway, he sent me from Colorado down here to operate that business. he had some government contracts that required hardwood timber to build these, to fill these contracts. When his contracts expired, he went back to Colorado and I stayed here in Titus County. We moved to Cookville in 1973. Been there ever since. We've lived in Titus County for 41 years. We have 3 daughters. Kathy is our oldest daughter, Brenda, and Elizabeth. After the man sold his business over on White Oak Creek and went back to Colorado, I stayed and I went to work for Cy Roach. Some of y'all may know Cypress Lumber. And I worked for Cy a couple of years, and his partner at that time was Jimmy Vaughn. And Jimmy he had been a prisoner in World War II, and his health was not good, and he wanted to sell, and he offered me the opportunity to buy him out. So in 1973, actually I think the latter part of 72, early part of 73, I bought Jimmy Vaughn's interest in Cypress Lumber, and I was a partner with Cy and John until 1990. And I sold to John, after Cy had retired, I sold my interest to John in 1990, and I went to over in Range County and started another business. I continued to live here, but my son-in-law and I, Melvin Rolfe was my son-in-law, and he and I started another business in Range County, and we worked there until '06 when we sold out. So I am retired. I've got all the time in the world to spend as County Commissioner. I have the experience working with people. I have the experience working with machinery. And also I have been district president of the Community of Christ Church organization for 8 years. I worked fixing budgets, setting up classes for continuing education for the leadership, and also setting up youth retreats, adult retreats, and things of this sort. So I have lots of experience working with people, working with budgets. I know what it is to fix a budget. I know what it is to live within the means of that budget. And you can't raise your budget just because you want to spend a little more money and you don't have the option of raising taxes. So I think we need to keep our taxes low, help as many people as we can. So I would appreciate your consideration for voting for me in the March primary. Thank you.
If you are elected, will you be a full-time commissioner?
Yes, I am prepared to be a full-time commissioner. I left out a while ago. We do have our own business. It's a farm, is what it is. We had 9 chicken houses at one time, but we have cut back to, well, as of last Friday from the snow, I've cut back to 2 houses now. But they're probably going to be cut back even further than that before the year's over with. But I am prepared to be a full-time commissioner, and will do everything in my power to do what the community wants me to do.
Leroy?
Yes, I will be a full-time commissioner because I have no other irons in the fire, so to speak. I've got all the time in the world to serve the people, and that's what I want to do.